do you know, this is where I'd say you sort of take pinches or flavours from different people, and that. Do you know what parasocial friends are? So a parasocial friend is someone who you're friends with, but they don't know you. So, or someone you like more so.
Okay.
So if you like an influencer online, that would be a parasocial friend, because you know them, they don't know you.
Okay.
I think it's really important actually that you take little sort of parts from these different people and bring them all together into your own space to sort of gauge how you are on these topics. You can take the one end of the spectrum, David Goggins, where it's like all the hustle. You can take some of that back to base and incorporate that within yourself, and then you can take from somewhere else something more like, I don't know, Paulo Coelho's way of writing novels that speak of sort of the importance of the spirit. You can sort of bring these things all into one place. I don't think you have to adopt entirely the David Goggins, but you can take some. There's definitely some of that to be taken, and you should do that as well. I've noticed the best way for me to do this is you go 100% David Goggins, and over time you realise, no, it's not quite working. I'll take what was valuable with me. I'll take the cold shower, and then you go, right, let me Paulo Coelho it for a bit and just go full spirit mode. And then you go, no, I do need the hard work as well, though. Let me take the empathy and bring it back to base. And you just sort of, I do think there's a value in being intentionally unbalanced as to create balance.
Yeah, 100%. Because obviously you then realise, hold on, this isn't for me.
Yeah. You try it.
Yeah, you try it. And I think doing it with like the right mindset of trying to be successful, you're in a sense, you're using other people's characteristics and drives and what they need to do to succeed to bring into your own, and then you're kind of creating your own person.
Yeah.
And then hopefully people then start looking up to you.
Yeah.
Because people then realise, and then people start taking stuff off you. Do you think David Goggins realised straight away that people were going to do that? Maybe. But they realised, like, he probably was just showing the world what humans can do.
He was. Yeah, he's spoken on the record of that.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden people are taking parts of him to try and integrate in their own routine, and then it's becoming beneficial for them, which he probably didn't realise at the start, and now was like, oh, hold on, I've actually benefited people here. So it is important, and I think the balance that you then end up finding, like you said, from the writer, from David Goggins, you take these characteristics and you do make them your own, because you, like you said, you took the cold shower of David Goggins and then the spiritual side of
Paulo Coelho.
So yeah, and then obviously you don't have to do that with two people. You can do it with like loads.
Of people. That's for the sake of the example. Yeah. That's the point.
So obviously I think it helps as well if you look up to that person.
Yeah.
Like for the amount of footballers that I look up to, sometimes I'd watch their life. I've seen recently professional footballers do like TikTok day in a life, and I watch them, or they'll do a YouTube day in a life, and I'll just see what they're doing. Obviously, they've already made it, so they probably weren't doing that at the start. But I'm seeing how chill they are. Because they've made it, they're a lot happier. They are happy. Obviously, there'll be days where they're not, and they're showing the happy stuff on social media, but it makes you realise, like, okay, I can take that out of their life and just see how much I can integrate it in mine.
It speaks of one of the essential reasons as to why I wanted to create this podcast, of you feel loneliness is one of the biggest issues when it comes to working towards things. And I think people like David Goggins really helped me sort of sidestep as much of that emotion as possible, where it's like you feel understood. You feel, in your case with a footballer's day in the life, that someone is there to sort of be like that big brother almost in some sense. They guide you along the way. They help you out. And I think it's really important actually that you do find these sort of heroes of sorts, and be open about that as well. There's nothing wrong with looking at some people and going, do you know what? you are like a hero to me. You're someone that really has inspired me to be a better person, to work towards something. Just on that point, who is that to you?
I don't really know. I like a lot of professional footballers. I've seen quotes as well. I have one on my phone. I have a couple on my phone from Messi, because obviously I look up to him, because he's like the best of all time, probably one of obviously one of them.
Definitely one of them.
Yeah. So I look at quotes from him. They're on my phone. I'll get one up actually, because they change between two. So like one here, it says, "A champion simply someone who didn't give up when they could have."
Exactly.
There's one person, and then there's another quote on there. I can't exactly remember what it says when I read it. Like, it's just on my phone, so I can see it.
Yeah.
But so he's definitely one of them. There's obviously your parents, because of how much they've put effort into you, into doing what you want to do. Like, they helped me go to America. They helped me they're still pushing for me to go do what I want to do, as in play professionally. So yeah, parents, and then like loads of players that have got to where they have, and obviously some players as well that have got to where they are from absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like, how have you done that? Like, we live a good life. They were in the literally in the trenches.
Yeah, in the favelas of Brazil.
Exactly. They're the ones I look up to as well. Like, how have you done that? So yeah, definitely parents and professional footballers. You've got to look up to them, because everyone wants to be a professional footballer. Everyone wants to do it, and I know that. But I've just got to have that mindset of, okay, well, I'm going to be one of those people then. Like, it's not like they've done it, so I can do it. So I constantly have that mindset, but then for the people that have just made it out of completely nothing, I think are very inspiring in that sense.
Would you ever put yourself into that bracket? As someone for you to look up to?
I've never thought of it like that, to be honest. And I don't know if people do that. I don't know. I've never done that. Maybe I should look at it more, saying, okay, you're doing well, you need to keep looking up to yourself. But I think it's hard to do that when you haven't made it to where you want to.
Is it, or have you not thought about how you could do it?
I haven't thought. And I probably inspire more people than I think, because I coach very young kids.
Yeah.
And they probably think that. Maybe they don't, maybe they do, but they probably do, because I definitely did it to coaches when I was younger.
I would wager that they do. I'd be surprised if they don't.
Yeah, well, thanks. But yeah, I definitely did it to coaches and people when I was younger as well. So, yeah, I probably should do that as well, but I don't know. I just haven't thought about doing that. So
I think it's an important thing for you to consider, for your own, even for yourself, to yourself, or to yourself for yourself, rather. I think it is really important to sometimes just look around at what you've created for yourself. I think it's one thing that we don't do anywhere near as much as we should.
Because you're always looking at...
You're always wanting more.
You're always comparing yourself, which you also shouldn't really do. I know people say that.
No.
You shouldn't compare yourself because, like, to others that are maybe around your ability or around in whatever you're doing, because they've still gone through it. You're going through your own journey, and whether it comes at different times, for your podcast, for my football, like, you've got to focus on yourself.